In a world where artificial intelligence is reshaping the way we live, work and learn, we believe that schools need to lead, not follow.
And our approach here is quite simple. We work with AI in a way that complements their human capabilities and not replace them. We see AI as a tool for leveraging quality thinking, problem solving, creativity and growth. And that's the future we want to prepare our students for.
AI is not just a tool, it's a partner in learning. And we now share with you 2 pockets of practice where students and staff in Year 12 classrooms are using artificial intelligence not to replace human thinking, but to deepen it.
The students found that it enhanced their confidence in their writing. For a lot of them, it affirmed their own ideas and where they were headed. It provided an entry point into the task, different ways of tackling it. They found the feedback in terms of evaluating their own work.
And I found it really deepened the evaluative process, gave that deep learning, put them in a position to make a transfer across into like a time pressure task later on. But overall the AI just provided that dynamic sense of immediacy through the learning process and gave better levels of evaluation to the students at a much quicker pace.
Do you want to just talk us through how you've used it so far in that prep for the assessment task?
Yeah, so I went to ChatGPT with a first draft of my discursive piece, and from that I found feedback about structure and stylistic features that I could implement that really enriched my piece.
Okay, so what I would do is I would put in a first draft of my discursive piece, and then from that I would ask it to give me feedback based on the context of the question, on areas like structure and my use of different elements of the discursive form, and then I'd use that to help me make a better response.
And similar to what Henry just said, I also ask it what I did well and what I didn't do well. And it's not all about getting negative feedback. Sometimes ChatGPT does acknowledge what you've done well, and that's good. But generally, it's good to know where you can improve.
So we went off the advice of Ryan Noonan and took some of his sort of guidelines, and then it was about putting in that we wanted it to be specific to the New South Wales Stage 6 English syllabus. We wanted it to be indicative of what a Band 6 response might look like, and then we gave a list of particular things we wanted it to think about. So the use of anecdotes, the use of allusions, variation in syntax and sentence structure, things to do with like whether they had voice in their writing. So they then had very specific things, and then the AI could then target those things and give them suggestions for how they could improve it, as well as some sort of evaluation of what they did.
Nothing replaces that research in the first place, as I've said. So the development of prompts, and in this particular task in creating actual training plans, what we will hopefully see is this greater depth and breadth of knowledge and understanding in developing their own training plan using AI.
One of our syllabus elements is training thresholds for aerobic and anaerobic athletes, and the percentages that I got from AI were actually completely different to my own individual research. So I had to give it the specific percentages on what to include into the training program.
My prompting started off really broadly in the beginning. The main outline of the task, what I wanted to do as a whole, Then I started to incorporate my actual research, my personal research. It started refining it a bit more, but there was still flaws, as I mentioned before, which is when I started putting in specific statistics, information that I've found, and slowly, as you can see in my prompt sheet, I've just refined it all, and it's given me something that I've really liked.
To support our staff, we've referenced the Leon Furs AI assessment scale. This will help our staff to do deep automation or simple augmentation of assessment in the classroom. We're focusing on a strategy of the 3 C's: clarity, consistency, and capacity. Clarity for students and staff to know how they can use AI in their assessments. Consistency across the staff, as well as consistency for students to have access to the appropriate AI tools. And capacity, to build the capacity of the staff to feel confident in utilising AI tools in the classroom and with assessments. And capacity of our students, so they know the best ways to use AI in their assessments to enhance their learning.
No, not at all. I see it as another tool in a teacher's briefcase, and I see it as a good way for students to have access to another resource to help them.
So you're setting them up through a process, and you're giving your input as a teacher. You're then bringing the AI in as a tool, and then there's an evaluation process from the teachers at the end of that with the students, and creates a better, more powerful dialogue, I would say. And so it actually gives impetus to it. So I don't feel like the teachers are being replaced. I feel like the teacher's role is just shifting and changing to embrace the use of the AI.
No. In fact, I use it quite a lot, actually. And so I think it's about harnessing it in a way which is value-adding to what we do. I used the term a little while ago about burying your head in the sand by not acknowledging AI in many respects. And I don't think it's a tool to be scared of, in fact one to embrace, because it's making certainly our lives easier in many respects, but it's not overtaking the need for us to still have the basics of what it takes to be a good learner, or a good teacher for that matter.
As Dan Bowman and Ray Fleming remind us in their podcast, Tutor, Teacher and Cheater, students are already using AI. We at Chevalier College are meeting students where they're at, with courage, clarity and curiosity. As we share these pockets of practice with you, we would encourage and welcome other schools to post online how they're using artificial intelligence for the betterment of student learning, so they can learn, live and work in an AI-infused world.